Hello there, welcome again to this your home, your channel where we analyze and appreciate beloved characters of classic anime and pop culture as well as comic books. In today's video, I thought about doing something different for you guys, but kind of the same at the same time, because what I have for you in store right here is a very special treat. Not really an action figure, but rather a statue of Cell. Again, perfect Cell from Dragon Ball Z. That's right. Now, this is a statue that I've had for a while, and much like the first action figure from the first video, I thought that it was going to be a good idea to maybe showcase it to you so that we could appreciate both the difference of a statue and an action figure, because even though it's the same character, they are two completely different things, which is a good thing, I believe, in my opinion. Now, once you guys see what's in this box, this statue out of the box, I promise you it's going to be something just super sweet and cool. It is a statue that appears to be pretty much carved right out of Mount Olympus. It looks like the best sculptures from Valhalla worked on it, so it's really cool. Now, the sculptor for this statue right here is Eric Sosa. As you can see, this is a perfect Cell figure from Bandai and BANPRESTO. Credit what credit is due. Again, Eric Sosa just gave us an excellent treat right here with this magnificent figure, which I'm about to show you right now. Let's get to it. Alright, you guys, so here we are again. What you see right here in front of your eyes is just perfection in green. Look at this magnificent perfect Cell figure. It is such an immaculate piece of art that I just cannot even begin to describe it. After almost 2 years of owning this figure, it still amazes me just the amount of detail and just how massive and gorgeous this statue is right here. As you can see, this statue is a little bit higher than the action figure of Cell from the last video as well, just by a few inches, if that. Now, look at this pose right here. Look at just how massive and detailed this guy is right here, from top to bottom, left and right, front and back, everything top notch right here. Extremely exquisite craftsmanship. Again, like I told you earlier, the reason why I thought about bringing this up to you today as opposed to something a little bit different, like a different character from a different anime or even within Dragon Ball, was because I wanted to compare this to just by a little bit to the very first action figure that I posted here of also perfect Cell as well. Now I'm gonna move this a little bit to the side so I can bring our other Cell from the last video as well. Now you can see right here that these are two completely different things. I had previously mentioned that the reason why I acquired this figure in the first place was because of its colors, his darker green, his matte finish on the black bio armor. Two different sets of colors, two completely different things. This is a fully articulated action figure. Again, not a toy. Let me make that clear. Not a toy. But nonetheless, it is very high in detail and very dynamic in nature because of the way it moves, all the poses that you can come up with, which is something that you cannot do with this Cell right here, given that it's strictly a statue and pretty much exclusive for display only purposes. Now, I do want to make it clear that this statue doesn't take away any credit from this one or vice versa. These are two completely different things, and they're both beautiful in their own ways. You know, different tonalities of greens, purples, blacks, as you can see, different sizes, of course. This one moves 100% while this one cannot at all, and that is okay because what we have right here is a statue as opposed to an action figure. Yeah, again, none of these two are toys by any means. They have to be treated with care and their appreciation. I always like to appreciate them as much as possible and take care of them as well. Now, going back to our Bandai / BANPRESTO perfect Cell statue right here, just the colors, look at those just extremely exuberant, exotic colors, all those greens, the black, the yellow, the purples. It is just absolutely insane. Such a cool statue right here. Now, much like in the last video, I do want to start by giving it its flowers and also making a few observations in regards to things that I thought could have been better, and also some comments on things that I thought were not so great as well. So I like to start from top to bottom, much like in the last video. So as you can see right here, the pose that Cell has right here, the one pose that they chose for him, I think it's just the best pose that they could have had in mind for him, given that it's just so revealing in the way that it shows a lot of the detail in this statue, a lot of musculature, a lot of colors. Now let me just go ahead and get Cell a little bit up close to the camera. The first thing that caught my attention when I first bought this figure was his head. Look at the detail on the dome, right? The dome on his head. You can see the brain right here, right through the dome. It is absolutely amazing. The new concept that they implemented here. The dome is fully transparent right here, as you can see. The brain is protected by the dome. Sort of a transparent dome right here. Now for his bio armor right here, the green bio armor, it is very, very neat in its shape. It goes up into a sort of a unfinished oval shape, which is really, really cool. It does have some texture to it. It's not really smooth. It's actually very rough, which is really, really cool. We of course have his classic dots right here. You know, his darker green dots. You know, that pretty much cover a lot of his green bio armor. Now, I do want to make it clear, as opposed to the other Cell figure, these are just painted on top of the base right here. So there's no really like indentations for each dot right here. They're all painted over. Now, if we tilt Cell just a little bit to the back, you can see how his bio armor is a little bit different right here, as opposed to the rectangular shape in which we're all used to seeing him. This is just like a straight cut right here, which adds to the realism of it, really, because if Cell wanted to turn his head back or to extend his neck back, he will be much able to do so this way, I believe, in my humble opinion. Now, let me just split Cell in half right here, so that I can get him up close to the camera as well. Now, you can just notice his facial expressions as well are more detailed than in the last figure that I showcased for you guys right here. You can just see his eyes right here. You can also see right here the purple line that covers the sides of his face. We also have the classic yellow shin protector right here. I'm sorry, chin, not shin. And notice also the muscles of the neck right here. You have the sternocleidomastoid right here, really, really thick. And you can just see the fibers of the neck muscles just popping up all around his neck right here on the white area. It is crazy detail, crazy good. You can also see how they actually pay attention to the way in which some muscles contract and others stretch while he turns his head to his left. It is super, super cool. I'm gonna turn it a little bit more to the back so you can see it from the back angle. And just look at those massive traps right here. These are just massive, massive trap muscles, and also have they also have the fiber texture for his muscles on, you know, this white part area right here. It is super, super cool. They did pay a lot of attention to anatomy details on this figure, because really, just look at this. Just the top half of his body is just like a walking anatomy chart. It is super, super cool. Now, moving down to his chest area, look at this massive, which is a massive bio armor. Let me just put them together again, so you can just appreciate the full figure right here, and the complex muscularity details that it has. It was really the main thing that caught my eye, to be honest, if I'm being honest. Just by looking at this thing, I don't even know if I'm looking at a mountain map or an anatomy chart or a hybrid of both. It is super cool. I do want to go back to the chest details right here, because you can just see how the chest, Cell's chest splits into the actual three muscles that make up the chest: the upper chest, middle, and lower chest right here. They are very symmetrical on both sides and also in height, and they are highly detailed. You can just see that these are like just two highly reinforced plates, like ready for battle. They are just so massive and so cool. If we go a little bit to the side, moving on to his shoulders, the first thing that caught my eye was this part right here, right under his armpit. It does have some texture to it, not necessarily smooth, but it also shows you the muscles of, the insertion of the chest muscles right here. The deltoids also underneath this shoulder armor. Now, when you look at the shoulders themselves, you can also just see how the deltoid muscle splits into its three main muscles: the front one, the middle one, and the rear delt right here. Super cool. Now let me just split him up in half again, so you can just appreciate the detail of his arms. Just look at this biceps right here. We can see the two heads that make up the bicep right here. And if I tilt it up a little bit and bring the arm up close, you can just see the texture that the bio armor on his arm has. It looks like granite. It's just super cool. It has a lot of dense texture. His forearm right here as well, you can see that they have done something quite unique and neat with the detail on his muscles. You have the forearm extensors and the flexors right here as well. Now for his hands, there's a lot more detail as opposed to the other previous Cell figure that I showed you. This has a lot of detail in his knuckles. Look at the black claws right here. Just absolutely sharp. Very cool. Let me just turn it up a little bit more so you can see a little bit of the white tonality that his hands have. I don't think the camera does this hand justice, or the figure as a whole, but to me, and if you own this figure as well, you might be able to notice that it has a little bit of a purplish mixture with the white paint. Super cool. Now, let me move on onto the other side of the arm, his right arm, so you can see his biceps fully flexed right here. Here's the separation of the biceps, also with the separation of the both heads of the biceps here too. His knuckles as well are fully clenched and closed. Look at that. Look at each of these bones right here of the hand. It is absolutely insane. The forearm as well. Just look at those muscles popping up. Absolutely just crazy, insanely good. Now I'm gonna put Cell again together right here by his waist. There you go. All right, perfect. Now, I do want to turn him a little bit around so you can see the details on his back and wings, because it is just crazy eye-catching. Now, look at just how massive the statue looks from the back because of the wingspan that it has. The wings do have texture to them, and they're very thick. Let me just turn the statue around a little bit. They are extremely thick, and they also have a texture on the inside of the wings as well. You can just see his stinger right here as well, right under his wings on his back. Super cool. Now, if I tilt him again to the front, we now move down to the torso area. Just look at how massive this torso is. This is another main difference that I wanted to bring up as opposed to the other Cell figure that I showed you guys on my first video. The torso right here, I think it's just it is just amazing. The width of the torso, the V shape right here that Cell has, you can just see the V taper right there. Absolutely crazy. It goes right here up into a V. Absolutely crazy, and gives him that really neat athletic look, I believe, in my humble opinion. It is absolutely massive and very muscular as well. You can see the serratus right here, right between his chest and back area. Look at those muscles right there. Right here on his score, you can just see the abs fully exposed. The whole six-pack right here is right here on display for you guys. And also they added a really cool detail right here on his left side as he's turning right here, pointing his left arm up, ready to blast and attack. The ab muscles also have this effect of twisting and moving right here. It is absolutely crazy, highly detailed. You also have the oblique muscles right here, right on the side of the abs. Moving down on his waist, we can just appreciate. I mean, oh gosh, I have to take a breather here because look at these legs. These legs are just absolutely massive. Just look at them. Look at those stompers. Not even Godzilla dare to go so far. It is crazy good. The amount of detail that these legs have, it is just incredible. But before I even get into the detail, let me just point out something that I think is really important to mention, and that is just the fact that we all know that Cell has his classic dots, green dots all over the place. This one has fewer dots than I've seen in other Cell statues or figures. But I believe that is a good thing because given the fact that this specific statue has so many details to it, I think the fact that the sculptors, you know, I think the fact that they decided to go with less spots was actually a good thing, because if you add detail on top of detail over more detail, it really will take away a lot from the figure, and I think it would have been too much to have him fully covered with dots, as we all know he is in the manga, which is great. Again, more is not always better, and I think this applies right here to what we have in front of us. Now, again, look at those stompers right here. His legs, his quadriceps are just extremely massive. It looks like I'm looking at two tanks right here, fully covered in armor, like solid armor. It is super cool. We can just see right here the amount of detail that they actually, you know, the amount of effort that they actually put into detail, because it shows us all of the legs of the muscle. We even have the sartorius muscles right here. This little band right here, all across his leg, the sartorius muscle. Then we have the vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, the rectus femoris. His knees right here are fully protected, and we even have the adductor muscles right here. Just look at that texture right here on the adductor muscles. It is absolutely highly detailed, extremely exquisite. And of course, we also have the classic bio armor structure of Cell that goes all the way from just above his knee all the way up and over to his waist right here, his hips. Look at those hips right here, fully covered, fully protected. I don't know if I'm looking at a sort of a metallic plant structure right here because of just how good it is. Look at those hips right there. Now, I do want to point out something, a really neat detail that they added to his legs, which are these spikes right here. You see these spikes right here? They are absolutely crazy good. This is, of course, something that Cell doesn't have in the anime or manga, which is, you know, not a big deal, because I think they gave him a few more details that he doesn't necessarily have on the versions that we know him, which is also a good thing, because they didn't go super crazy with extravagant details or unnecessary stuff, and they kept it cool, simple, but yet just so imposing, so good. Let me go ahead and turn Cell around so I can show you the back of his legs. You see that, don't you? The hamstrings. Look at Cell's hamstrings right here. You have the leg biceps right here, fully split in half. It looks like it was carved by a sword. It is super cool. Now, a really quick observation right here that I have, which is a good one, by the way, as opposed to the previous video where I show you guys Cell from the back. he lacked his classic spots on the hamstrings. This one doesn't. Actually, since I have him right here, let me show you. All right, so let me just go a little bit more to the front. You see how right here he doesn't have the dots right here on his hamstrings, while this one does. So again, two completely different things. Just look at the difference. Look at the difference in the greens, everything. Again, two completely different things. Not that is a bad thing. Just as a reference point. Now, I'm gonna keep Cell right here, pointing his back to you guys, so you can look at those calves. Just look at how massive and just bulgy those calves are. He has the gastrocnemius right here, the soleus going down all the way to his feet. Just look at how massive those calves are. Absolutely insane. Now, if I keep turning Cell a little bit to the front, again, that brings us down to his shins. Look at just how impressive the detail on his shins are. If I bring Cell up close to the camera, just look at that finish right here. This looks like I'm literally it is just so sharp. I mean, not sharp to where it's gonna cut you. It's just plastic at the end of the day. But look at this. It is just like a living sword right here. Absolutely crazy detail that I have for Cell right here on his shin by armor. Super cool. Very detailed. They even went as far as to carve a little bit of the texture on Cell's shins, even though we all know them as being just, straight black and smooth. Well, these are not smooth at all. They are really cool. Now, let's go all the way down to his feet so you can look at those feet right here. Now, when I first bought this figure, I didn't pay attention to this. My main eye catcher was the colors and the pose and everything. But when I looked at his feet, something caught my eye, and that is just the fact that this is just a completely different and new concept from what we are used to. You can just see right here how each toe that he had on his imperfect form all blended together, like it was welded together at the end of his transformation when he reached his perfect form. Just look at each toe right here. It has 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely crazy detail. Such a really cool concept that they implemented here, which I really appreciate. You can just even see his claws, his talons right here. 1, 2, and the other one right here, third one right here. Same for the other foot. It is absolutely crazy. Now that I'm done throwing my flowers at him and glazing him with compliments and pros and goods, I do want to make a few comments as far as things that I thought could have been better. Now, to start with, I do want to signal the face area. Even though they gave him a more humane look, I thought that they could have gone harder and maybe carve a deeper facial gesture onto Cell to make him look more of a villain, pretty much. I think it is a very smooth finish, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think they could have done a better job with the facial features. Right here also, the chin protector, I thought it to be a little bit thinner than what we usually know, and also the ear area. I don't know if I can get this up close enough so you can see what I'm talking about. But we all know that his quote unquote ears are in a rectangle shape. Well, this is more of an oval shape right here, the black dot that I'm pointing out right here. So I don't necessarily know that I'm okay with that, but then again, it's just a detail that they had to work around, and that's okay. We can't really complain much about it. But other than that, I do have a couple more observations here. Now, let me just turn Cell a little bit to the side right here so you can take a look at the stinger. Now, the stinger, Cell stinger is one of his most, how to say it, a really cool feature that he has that we all know him for. But I think the ratio / proportions of the tip of his stinger are a little bit not so much in proportion to one another. As you can see, the base of the stinger right here, it's very bulgy, very thick, whereas the tip of the stinger tends to be a little bit short than what I would have liked to see it otherwise, meaning a little bit sharper, longer. But instead we got something a little bit different, which again, I don't know if that was part of their plan to make it look more real or not, but again, it's just an observation that I thought could be better. Now, I do want to make another comment in regards to its wings. Let me just make this very clear. I am not like an aviation engineer or anything like that, but I think if this was to be like a real life cell, because of how thick his wings are, I don't know how much of an advantage that will be for him, because these are really thick. So I don't know how good will those thick wings serve him during mid-flight or in the middle of a fight. But regardless, it's just a comment that I have for something that I thought could have been better. But still, it is a great statue, and I highly appreciate all the detail, work, and effort that they put onto it. One more comment that I have for this statue right here, it's the blacks. Now, let me just make a reference here by bringing our all body cell from the previous video. You see how these are two completely different kinds of blacks? So this one right here, I believe it to be like a matte finish, to where it doesn't reflect as much light as opposed to this one right here. Very different blacks in tone. As you can see right here, if I bring Cell up close, you can just see his body armor on his chest, shoulders, shins, also the wings. It is not such a deep black per se. To those of you who happen to own this figure, if you look up close, I don't know if it's just me, but I do notice a little bit of a cosmic purple when I look up close into it. But then again, it might be just me. It does reflect a lot more light than the previous Cell figure. Now, this is neither good or bad. I just want to bring this up because it looks like it has a little bit of a glazed finish on the black areas. Again, this is neither bad or good, but it is something that you can either make it work for you, or it can work against you, depending on how you display this statue right here. Because again, this is 100% solid. It has no articulation anywhere at all. It is fully a display statue. And again, given the fact that it is a statue, the lighting, the posing, I mean not the posing, but the placement, I meant to say, will play a huge role on how light works on your favor or against you. I'm going to show you a few things that I myself did to make the point to you guys, and show you a few surprises coming up soon after the video. Now, that's pretty much it for this figure. I highly recommend you guys acquire it. It is not, as opposed to the previous Cell figure that we had in the last video, it is not as expensive, because I understand that, sometimes people might be on a budget or something, but this is not the case for this figure at all. What this figure lacks in articulation, it makes up and compensates for in detail and price range. It is far more accessible. I've seen it anywhere between $25 to $30, but not more than that. So it is really affordable. And as you can see, there's a lot of detail to this figure. We all know that BANPRESTO, for those of you who also collect, BANPRESTO really makes good figures, but I haven't seen a figure this detailed at all from them, for any Dragon Ball Z character, as opposed to Cell. I do like Cell because, in my opinion, whether it be his imperfect form, semi-perfect, or perfect form, there's just a lot of versatility that artists and sculptors and resin studios can work with by adding or taking away details different concepts, different tonalities of greens, blacks, as you can see. This character right here has just it is just so versatile, and I really like it, and I just think it's a great figure. Highly recommend it, you guys. But yeah, I just thought about bringing up this figure and comparing it a little bit, just a little bit, to our other figure from the past video. Again, one figure or slash statue doesn't take away any merit from one another. These are two completely different things, and they are both beautiful in their own way. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick for you guys and just showcase you how change doesn't necessarily have to be bad. This is the same character as a previous video, but in a completely different way, which is I think it's a good thing, you know, because you don't want to be stagnant, because otherwise what's the point, you know? Gotta have a little bit of variety here and there, in sizes, colors, everything. And as you can see, this figure right here is really just highly detailed, absolutely impressive and massive. Look at that, watch out. Just so cool. Highly recommend this figure, you guys. And again, I will be seeing you guys shortly in the next video, and thank you so much for your time. Welcome again to this channel, your home, where we'll be reviewing and appreciating beloved characters from different comic books, pop culture, and anime as well. Thank you so much. Hi again, thanks for staying a little bit over time to the end of this video. I forgot to mention a few things in regards to this video. Now, when you take out the figure from the box, it doesn't really necessarily require any science at all to put it together. It gets together right here at the waist, and also, you know, of course, the base. It has a couple holes on the bottom of his feet, and one right here on his back that it attaches to. The wings also separate and insert right here on each of these slots. So really, you know, not a big deal, not really hard to put together. But I do want to mention and make it clear that that is one of the weaknesses of this figure, because it comes apart really easily. You have to put a lot of pressure into each articulation point to keep it together. Not a deal breaker, but it's just something that I thought it was worthwhile mentioning. Also, I wanted to take these few seconds to let you guys know that I promised to bring you variety, not just Dragon Ball, but I thought that it could have been a good idea to just showcase you the same character, but in two different versions. One of it being a figure or slash statue, and another one being an actual action figure. Again, none of these are toys, so be really careful and appreciate your collection. Take care of them. And they will take care of your bookshelf display or anything else you choose to display them on. Anyways, thank you so much for you guys' time. And coming up, I have a few surprises for you, like a little bunch of ideas so you can, you know, grab and pick from for your own display. And that being said, without further ado, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can, and I'll show you things that you couldn't